Good afternoon. I really thought there'd be more people in here today with that summer schedule on the agenda, but a lot of people have probably heard about it, so maybe it's not like news hot off the press. So, what day is it today? Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, okay. Losing track of days. It's been a little busy around here, hasn't it? Sedgwick, hop along. Someday he'll get that off of his foot.
Maybe tomorrow.
Really? And then surgery? Now I see Rhonda and I'm going to check my teeth. I think they're okay. I did eat salad again for lunch. All right, we're all good. We're all good. So anyway, thanks for being here today. We've got some things I'll share. I hope, how many of you saw the agenda on the portal? Woohoo, good. Thought of it yesterday. Glad we got it out there. I think it does help so that you kind of know what we're going to be talking about. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of go through some of the things from the board meeting last night, some of the things that were talked about that I think that you would be interested in. First of all, the Paul Simon Essay Contest winner is Jerry Lamaya Farmer. Is that how you say it, Lamaya? She's a nursing program student. She'll be entered into the state competition. She was a young lady who wrote about an experience of going to another community college in the state of Illinois and her experience there and coming to Kish and how much better Kish is. So, Bob Johnson even said at the board meeting last night, I wonder if I should send this letter to their board chair. You know, as a courtesy, he might want to, they might want to know. So congratulations to Jerry. The Award of Excellence winners, we looked, it was not posted on the portal yet, so I'll just kind of go through those quickly, and we'll get that out there, but these were approved at the board meeting last night or presented at the board meeting. So we're extending congratulations to all those people who were nominated for a 2016 Board of Trustees Award of Excellence. The recipients are also noted below, and I will share them. For each full-time award category, a committee is formed and chaired by the previous year's recipient, and the adjunct faculty committee is chaired by the vice president of instruction this year to get it started. The individual committees that review the nominations and recommend recipients to the Board of Trustees for approval at their April meeting, which was last night. So for the KCEA bargaining unit, I'm going to tell you, I might butcher some last names. My first 3 months were learning first names. My next 3 months are learning last names. And so I'm not too good with last names yet. I am trying, but I apologize in advance for any names I butcher. I'm more a numbers person than a letters person, so I'm adjusting to the new Illinois names that I'm learning. Tim Banasiak, did I say that right? Prenevalon Ellis? Am I on a roll? Ooh. Matt Ewert? Nadine Franklin, she's got an easy name. Terry Lynn Funston? Tim Lockman? Okay, this one I'm not going to get through. Charles Ramondi? No way. I'm going to the casino. Is there casinos in Illinois? Okay. And Tammy Tigler, who has convinced me to wear my name tag on the other side. See, I learned something at the etiquette lunch. Never too old to learn. And the winner is Tim Lockman. Adjunct faculty. The nominees, Dennis Johnson, Amy Johnson, and Pam Pascalini. Yeah, you helped me. And they all are winners. Okay, support staff, here we go. Stacy Alden, Rich Fenton, Tony Gabriel, Eric Herman, Tricia Hernandez, Kelly Kirsten, and Brooke Miller. And the winner is Tony Gabriel. And other professional staff. Nominees are Michelle Allen, Matt Fairborn, Dan Fritsch, Lucretia Conan, Bryce Law, Jenny Morgan, Bernie Papino. the Burnmeister, as he likes to sign his emails, and Jackie Strapp. And the winner is Michelle Allen. All right, so maybe I'm better than I thought I was at names. Good. So excellent. Congratulations. Thanks. This is an impressive list of people, and congratulations to everyone for all your hard work and all the great things that you do. All right. Another thing we talked about at the board meeting last night is the out-of-district and out-of-state tuition. I know I mentioned that last month that we were considering it. We were looking at doing something different with out-of-district tuition to try to encourage more enrollments, but yet we needed to balance that with our revenues and make sure we don't lose too much money on that. So the conclusion we came to is that for out-of-district, their tuition next year will be 2 times the Kish in-district tuition, and then the out-of-state will be 3 times. So it's 1 times, 2 times, 3 times. We'll try that for a year. If that works, but it's still not enough of an incentive, or we don't lose too much money, then we'll go and look at being able to reduce it more. By is it statutes? State statutes, that's what we have in Wisconsin. I wanted to make sure I said this right thing in Illinois. By state statute, we have an amount we have to charge the minimum of, and that's 1.5 times the tuition of the contiguous schools around us. So we definitely could go lower than this. We're one of the higher tuition schools in our area, but we thought we'd try this and see how it goes, and then it's easy to remember. So the numbers are 129 for in-district, 258 for out-of-district, and 387 for out-of-state. There's some staff changes that were discussed last night at the board meeting. John Accardo has left the organization. I think everyone's aware of that now. Michelle Jones is filling in for him, trying to survive not only the work, but one less person. And everybody knows our HR department's a little thin. So she's hanging in there. There's just a lot going on right now, as everybody knows, that HR is involved in. So we appreciate Michelle and her team's leadership trying to really get through this. Cindy, everyone knows, has been around for a long time. HR was in the president's office, so she has a lot of knowledge about HR. Michelle has kind of become a regular by Cindy's desk, and that's a great thing. But in order to make sure we're still moving everything forward that we need to be working on, Cindy needed a little backup assistance temporarily. So Kelly Kirsten is back on campus. It was on the portal, but she's back on campus 20 hours a week, sitting in Amy Ludwig's old seat. Not sure how long that'll be, but for now, until we get through this HR hiring, just to help us keep things moving. So just wanted to mention that if you see Kelly on campus, that's what it is. So she's here Monday, Tuesday, and half days on Wednesdays. Let's see, Sarah Poole. Sarah, are you here? There you are. Sarah, 31 years. Hopefully it won't be the end of seeing Sarah, but maybe just every day on a regular basis, the end of seeing Sarah. She sent me a note about how she's starting to see parents or children and grandchildren of students, and I called her an intergenerational educator. So thank you for all your years of service, Sarah. The college is going to miss you and your leadership. And then I also want to mention RJ McGarry is... Yes. RJ is now the acting, he's no longer an actor. He is the true thing. He is now our Director of Information Technology, and thank you, RJ, for your leadership. We'll have a few more staff updates that we do on, you tired? Big yawn out of Sedgwick. He's burned the midnight oil working on his dissertation. So we'll have a few more on Friday, a few more staff updates that Sedgwick will talk about. So we'll get a few more, but those were the ones that were approved by the board last night. We have a new student trustee, Gabrielle Kultra, I think is how you say her name. I've seen Gabrielle. She's a woman around campus a lot. She's in an Associates of Science program here, planning to major in agriculture, and she is the one that Sarah has educated grandma and mom. No, not grandma, just mom. Just mom, okay, just mom. Trying to get people to laugh. So intergenerational. So anyway, Gabrielle will be a wonderful addition to our board, and we're looking forward to having her as a member of the Board of Trustees. And then I'm just going to go over a few. I know this is on the website, and I'm trusting that many of you probably look at it, but I just want to go over a couple of highlights. In the President's report, you've maybe noticed that there's a different format with me here now. This is something I kind of borrowed from my past president, but what I'm trying to include in the highlights are things about staff. And then student information will be in the trustees report. We kind of got to that point this month, and so we'll work on that going forward. And I know a lot of you have been really great about submitting highlights to your deans or vice presidents or directors and things, and so keep those up, because we do, then the Board of Trustees sees them, and we get to continue to talk about the positive things that are happening at our college, and I think that that's so important. So I'll just mention quickly, I'll say some names in real brief, because I'm not going to just read off the piece of paper, but it is is the agenda still on the website? So if you want to see the full report, go ahead and go out there and look at it. But Kevin Fuss, in fact, it was last month at the presidential briefing that he missed because of being at this retired area teachers association, and he talked about being on retired time, and then he had to eat at their buffet, and they just wanted him to stay and talk. And so, but Kevin did a great job of representing the college at that. And now he's missing today because he's at a community foundation meeting. He's a busy man, so we appreciate his leadership. Miles, is Miles here? Not this one, maybe tomorrow he'll be here. Art faculty, he had an essay published that will accompany an art exhibit at the Research House for Asian Art at the Art Institute of Chicago, so that's pretty exciting. Michelle Erickson Gettle? Wow. And Miles collaborated between ceramics and life drawing, and the class joined for the first time to do figure sculpting and plasticine clay. That's right. Wow. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'll have to come visit and find out. I'm not sure I fully understand figure sculpting. Okay, well, we'll just not know together. Jamie, I'll repeat it because I was told that people who watch the video, if someone in the audience says something, they can't hear it, so I have to repeat it. Jamie doesn't know what that is either. Casey Albin was the recipient of the 2016 Dennis Ross Outstanding Speech and Debate Coach Award. That's given annually to one university or community college coach considered to be the most outstanding coach of the year. And this is the second state or national coach of the year award we won. Our previous one was Chase, and I saw Chase. He's in the audience. Hello, congratulations. So congratulations to Casey and to Chase. That's a great honor. Yes, clap. Dariana McAfee, coordinator of Youth WIOA, Workforce Investment Youth, was elected to be vice chair of the Network for Families organization. I think we talked before about that ImageWorks, the auto collision video, but they won an award. Laura in our marketing department helped coordinated that. Only 14% of those entered received the honor, so that's pretty cool. We do a lot of good things here. It was a platinum award for our video on collision repair. Where is that video being run?
Right now it's on YouTube, and we're doing YouTube advertising.
Okay, so it's being advertised on YouTube. That's great. A food security summit combating hunger in DeKalb County. Nursing students are organizing a poverty simulation with the NIU nursing students, Northern Illinois Food Bank, and Live Healthy DeKalb, and it's on Wednesday, April 27th. And Katie Hamill is now again, or was reelected and appointed as National Council for Marketing and Public Relations Director. And this was District 3 Director at the National Conference in St. Louis. And I think it's always a good opportunity for people to get out there. You hear what's cutting edge in all of your professions, so it's great to be doing that, and congratulations to Katie. All right, so then we also, in the highlights, list all the news releases that go out, and there's lots of them. There are so many great things that are happening at the college. There's just a couple of them that I wanted to highlight. One was our NIU signing agreement, our program transfer agreement. This is Matt's world. We worked on the tech program, a 1+3 or 3+1. I said, okay, I'm doing it backwards, a 3+1. So students can actually spend 3 years at our college and only 1 year at NIU and have this engineering tech degree, and it's pretty awesome. Pramod Vora is the dean of the college at NIU who is working with us on this, and he is such a champion of this idea of pathways and comes out and says things like, I'm promoting this because it's cheaper for students to do this, and we just really want students to be in the workforce. So give him a lot of credit. He's a great partner, and I think we'll continue to do some exciting partnerships with NIU and activities. I think there's going to be a lot of good things happening there. On April 7th, we had the auction. Did I see Dave in here? Yeah, right? We had a great auction. You don't have your hat on today, so now I recognize you.
Regarding the auction, I got a personal text from the church that was able to purchase the white van. They're ecstatic. So thank you.
Okay, so Shelley reports that she got a text about the church that purchased the white van, and they are ecstatic. We made $21,000. We got, what, 3 times the value of that white van? Is that what it was? Twice the value. It's cleaned out. Things look good out there. We're all happy. We'll do it again. Yay. Thank you. All right, so those are some exciting things that have been happening at the college, in amongst, again, long list of things. An enrollment update. We are still currently down in our FTEs, our full-time equivalent enrollments. We're still down about 8.8% for the year. About 5% of that is our adult basic ed, and that's a lot to do with the lack of funding. So that still continues to be an issue for us. But we are making progress. Is Matt here? Did you run the report again after day 2? All right, so are we still, so do you want to give us the latest?
Okay, most people know that usually on opening day I post stuff on the portal. We delayed deliberately. We are visiting the numbers. We are talking about some adjustments because we started on Monday as opposed to a Wednesday, which is part of what's going to skew it. The way the opening day falls is a little stuff. All this is going to be addressed, but long story short, what I know Lori wants me to address because, good news, we all could use something like stuff. The bottom line is, I'll go ahead and just share it because this is the real exciting one. Opening day of summer, we were up 22% in credit hours. Opening day, opening day of fall, we were up 5.2% in credit hours. Well, they could have been inverted, but hey. So these are early numbers, they're very preliminary. Cedric and I are meeting tomorrow. We're going to talk about kind of a new way of rolling out numbers. The nice, pretty enrollment sheet that everyone's used to on the portal will still be there, but Cedric and I, so we're going to work together to do Monday updates that will go out to people that not only are going to include the macro level changes, but also the frontline efforts that tons of people here are working on and doing, just so people know what's going on in like recruitment and retention initiatives by lots and lots of people here. So
How about the second day? So that was day 1. How about day 2?
it wasn't as great, so I didn't want to say what they were, but the second day figures, we're still on the plus side in credit hours for both summer, but they will all be posted and sent out Monday.
Okay, maybe it's that new mobile app that encouraged so much registration on the first day. So for those on the video, summer we were up 22%, fall we were up 5% on the first day. We're still up after the second day. Here's the important thing, and you all should give yourselves a big pat on the back. This is the first time in 5 years we've been up in enrollment on opening day. That's a really good thing, because I'll remind you, because we talk about it like on a daily basis, we budgeted in the budget for fiscal year 17 starting in July that our enrollments would be down another 5%, which was $585,000. If we even can be flat, that's another $585,000 that we have in our budget. That's huge. That's huge. So hang in there, keep up all the great efforts. Lots of people are working really hard at this, so very impressive. So everybody loves good news. We are up in in-district applications, and those are almost half of our total applications that we get into the college. So that's, if you're going to be up anywhere in applications, that's where you want to be up. So it's still good indicators. We're still trending in a positive direction, and we're going to continue to do all the hard work that we're doing and turn those applications into matriculations. I know Michelle and her team are working really hard at that, so thanks for your efforts. Looking at some legislative updates, there's things that have been popping up and bills that have been introduced, but the bottom line is there's nothing new or nothing different. There's no money behind it. There's meetings that are happening with no discussion about outcomes. So, and really it depends on who I talk to, whether we can plan on money or no money. Some opinions I've got is it's going to be 3 years before you get any money, and others say nope, we might get something real soon. So we're just going to keep going forward, and we're gonna just do our thing, and we're going to be okay. So we're going to get through this year, and we're going to just keep growing enrollments. Let's see. The only other thing I think I wanted to mention is that we held on April 5th. We held an administrator's breakfast, a K-12 administrator's breakfast here on campus, and that was for superintendents, principals, curriculum directors of the school districts, the K-12 school districts that we serve. I should say, Rochelle I just learned they're a little different. So they're not K-12, they're high school and elementary. So we invited Jamie Craven from the high school, and then all the other districts were K-12. So we'll think about that in the future, including the middle school and elementary superintendents from out in the Rochelle area. But anyway, so we got together and we talked about some initiatives and how we continue to strengthen our partnerships and increase those enrollments from our high schools. So I'll just go over a couple of the highlights. We talked about dual credit and working on dual credit and how we are doing it now and how we plan to go forward. Talked about the change that was voted on at the last board meeting, that now credits will be $50 and free and reduced lunch students will be for free. The schools assured us that that's going to be very easy for them to help us verify, so that should work out really good going forward. And we want to continue to get into the classrooms of the dual credit students and working with Bryce and others, Bernie and other people who are out in our schools to really encourage those students to come into our college. We talked, Joanne Cantner joined us. She talked about testing changes without Compass and some of those alternative assessments. There you are, Joanne. Some alternative assessments for how we're helping students get into our college classes and how we assess the level they need to be at. So that was there's a lot there, but it's good, and I know a lot of people have been working very hard at that, so I thank those people who are doing that. Talked about a math pilot program that we've been working on with the math department in Rochelle High School. It seems to be going really well, and other schools are definitely interested in doing it. So I know Mark will be leading that charge with some of the math folks and the high schools. We looked at the remediation data, how the students coming out of the high schools, how many of them need remedial work before they're fully admitted into program courses. And we also looked at enrollment data, and I continue to challenge the superintendents that I'd like to see that 33%, roughly 32.9, 33% of the high school students who matriculate into our college, I'd love to see that at 50%. And I've heard there's community colleges in Illinois, one not far up the road, that's at like 70%. So we're going to continue to work at this because this is a really good thing. And this is an easy sell because this is a great place for all students to start their education. And I continue to say that when we talk about funding the debt of higher education out there for younger people these days, or returning adults for that matter, and just all of the great reasons why people should start their educational journey here, in addition to all the great programs we have in CTE areas for people to go right to the workforce and how we meet that local workforce demand. So continue to share that message. We'll share that message because I passionately believe in that message. And I've shared that my older children, who are very successful and definitely college bound, did the community college as part of their journey, and it was the best thing that happened to both of them. And so I think we just need to continue to sell that song, or sing that song, sell that story, that this is the place for students to start and get to parents. And so we'll continue to work on that. We covered a little bit about the Summer Bridge program. Pramod came and talked about the NIU partnership for engineering and talking about STEM careers and activities we can do with our K-12s to encourage enrollment in STEM careers. Then we just talked about things like continuing education credits for educators, our education program and what we can do to partner with educators in the area. I guess there's a real demand for like substitute teachers in the area and some of those kinds of things. So it was a good discussion, and they want to do it again in the fall. So we're very excited to be forging very strong partnerships with our K-12 strong. They were strong before, just even stronger, and to do more things to help our students matriculate into our college. And I think with that, again, if you're interested in what else I'm up to, you can go out and look, but I continue to be in Rotary. I'm going to Kiwanis next week. I'm going to Rotary next. I'm doing the DeKalb Rotary and Kiwanis next week. Continue to be out there in the community, and I always start them by saying, raise your hand if you or one of your children ever attended Kishwaukee College. And again, the vast majority of every audience I'm with raises their hand. We are everywhere. I learned, though, something about being everywhere. Here, there's great things about being everywhere, but then there's kind of a downside. Then because you're everywhere, when things are happening, everybody wants to know what's happening. So, but I'm adjusting to that, and we're getting there, and that's a good thing. I mean, that's a good problem to have. Katie got a call from someone after our article in the paper today, just a concerned citizen wanting some more information, and that's a good thing, and we're getting there. So I continue to have regular meetings with support staff. I see Dave and Tony here, Matt and I. We email daily, meet once a month. There's just lots of, Matt Reed, not this Matt, although we do email quite often, but and continue to keep those dialogues going and conversations, and I think that's all good stuff. So that is it for the board report. Now I've got to find my other notes, where I put those. So now we'll get to some other things that are on the agenda for today. End of year budgeting. Beth, did you want to talk about this? Do you want to come up and, but you have to come up if you talk about it because you have to be in the microphone. Or do you want me to just talk about it?
You're up there with the microphone.
She'd have a long walk down the aisle. So I know past years, I understand past practice has been when we get to the end of the year, people try to clean up their budgets, order supplies and things like that. Let's try to not do that this year. I mean, spend what you need to spend, what you need for your department, but we don't lose the money if you don't spend it. It just goes back into the reserves. And that's a really good thing for us right now because we've spent a lot of our reserves this year. So we're going to ask you to not go out and buy all kinds of things for your department if you don't need to. And if you have questions, of course, ask your managers or leaders. But let's just try to change that practice and not go crazy with trying to spend down all of our budget. And I get it. I was at a college where we did the same thing at the end of the year. We tried to clean it up because our board did not like your board in the past, did not like to see a whole bunch of things not spent at the end of the year. The times are different. It's good for us now to build up our reserves. It's easier to build up our reserves this way than to do it down the road with staff and having to reduce staff. So this is an easier way for us to build up our reserves. So again, if you have any questions on that, talk to your supervisor. Summer schedule. We have been talking about coverage in summer now that we're reduced. And there has been, I understand in the past, there's contract language that allows support staff to submit letters for alternative contracts and alternative schedules in the summer. But as we started talking about that, they were going to be very hard for supervisors to approve this year just because we're down so many people. So we started talking about what are some other options, looking at some peer institutions, what are some other colleges doing. And we decided to throw it out there, and I talked with Dave and Tony about it last week, kind of looking at the idea of closing the campus on Fridays. Fridays are pretty quiet here. There are no classes scheduled on Fridays, and it would then allow people to have 3-day weekends. For 10 weeks, we're looking at the 10 weeks of summer school. So that would start May 31st and run through August 5th. What we would do is at this point, we would look at working 9-hour days, so 36-hour weeks. We're talking to the unions about how that would look for pay and compensation. and working on that piece of it. And I know the support union has got an email out, and they're having discussions amongst their members. But basically, so we'd work 4 9-hour days, and then you'd work 36 weeks, and then we would be closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There are things scheduled in the bid center. We would still figure that out, and we would have those run. And then going forward, if we do this again next year, we'd look at it a little bit differently. We also could save a little bit of energy costs by turning down air conditioning. We'd save, Beth did an analysis, probably about $12,000, which isn't significant, but it's something. And who knows, maybe it would be even more by the time we actually do it. Over half of the other community colleges in the state of Illinois close on Fridays. So, and I understand that this has been something that's been thrown out before. People are working really hard, and we recognize that and appreciate that. But you know what, if we're gonna work really, really hard, we also need to rejuvenate. And summer's not as long as it needs to be, in my opinion, around here. I know I'm getting a longer summer this year in Illinois than I've had where I've come from, but people are working really hard, and we need to take care of each other, and this might just be a really good opportunity for us to work really hard and have similar schedules for 4 days out of the week, and then so it's easier to get work done because you know who's here when. Dave shared that with me, that has been a concern of his in his area in the past. We don't know when people are here and schedules. Everybody will be here for those hours, and then we would be off for 3 days. So I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that, comments on that, concerns, things we maybe haven't thought about. Yes, Betty.
I know you've talked about this, but can't be too Mark's aware, but just in case people were wondering, you know, therapeutic massage and aesthetics are there Friday night and Saturday, but again, it would be another just
Yep.
isolated wing that would be open and running, and it's that those programs are set up that way, and I often give them my radio, and you know, they've been there on Saturdays a lot alone in the past too. So,
Sure.
just in case somebody said, oh, you forgot about, you know.
We are thinking about them, yes. So therapeutic is the discussion on Friday nights and Saturdays. Sedgwick's also working with security to make sure we have security here during that time that they're open. We will still have security services. So yes, there will still be some things going on, and like when we're in the when there's things happening in the bid center down here, security will also be aware of that, so we know that we have some coverage here. There will be some exceptions. It won't be a flat out, but normal operations would not occur during those times. But yes, we still have some things we need to do, and we understand that. Any other questions or thoughts or comments? Yes, Ann.
You said you had questions on my name.
I'm getting better.
Yes, I better.
Yes, now that I know your name, you better watch it, huh?
So my question is, I know you said there were still conversations, like with support staff union, that type of thing. So, like for a regular 40-hour weeker, is our pay being reduced to the 36, or it's staying at our typical?
No.
salary?
For professional staff, or I shouldn't, yes, professional non-represented staff, the board last night approved 0 raises. If you look at 10 weeks, 4 hours a week, it comes out to about 2%. So the way we're looking at this is about a 2% raise. It's just a raise in time off versus compensation. So no, we're not going to ask people to make up those 4 hours. Yes?
The college, I've been told, has to announce its operating hours to the public, so they know. What would be the latest that this decision would happen?
Yep, we want to make this decision about what we're doing for summer hours by May 1st. So we're working on trying to get things wrapped up so that we can move it forward. And that people can make plans. Yes?
Would you reduce your security force then, like on Friday you wouldn't have security here?
I think, regarding, okay, so the question is on the security force. Right now, we have a contract with the Sheriff's Department that goes through the summer. So we will determine when they will be here, what they will be working, that isn't set in stone yet, but Sedgwick is working with the security department. So I would say if you have any questions about that, to connect with Sedgwick and we'll work on that.
Okay, I was just thinking, you could modify that contract, there might be some savings.
Yeah, probably going forward, but we've already signed a contract with them and they've already picked their shifts and they have a way that they work with their unions as well. So we'll work with that and then if we do this going forward next year, then we would do that. But yes, you're right, in the future there probably could be some savings there too, depending on what our needs are. Any other questions? Yes?
Just wondering, like, if we do the 4-day, Monday through Thursday, how would that work, like, if the 4th of July, if it falls on a Friday or anything like that?
Right, if a holiday falls on one of those days during that week, well, if it's on I hadn't thought about that being on it's on a Monday, good, it's on a Monday. In 5 years, we'll figure out what we do. I'm going to be so much better at this job in 5 years. I'll be able to easily answer that question. But let's say it falls on a Monday, so it's a 9-hour workday. You get 9 hours a holiday. We are not going to ask people to make up that 1 hour. But then in turn, if you take the day off, it's 9 hours of vacation. Any other questions? Okay, does anybody want to do a thumbs up, thumbs down? Is there anybody who's really thinking this is a bad idea? Probably don't want to say it. Some thumbs up, yeah, I'm liking it. I'm thinking, yay. 2 thumbs, oh, Jamie's got 2 thumbs going. Yeah, again, we work really, really hard. Everybody at this college is working really, really hard, and we recognize that. Someone in the community said to me, all right, Lori, you got through all that, you got through all the layoffs. Now your job is to go around and hug everybody who's left in that college. So this is like our first attempt to really start to do that, to say thank you for those of you who are really chipping in, doing extra, trying to make this work. It is really appreciated and noticed, so thank you. All right, and it just makes our lives easier. It will. As far as work schedules. Katie, I think you're up next. And then I've got one final thing to talk about and we'll take questions. Oh, are you going to go over there? Okay.
Gotta use the mic. Can you hear me? Oh, that's okay. I just have 2 quick questions, or not quick questions, 2 quick topics. On Friday, I sent out an email to all staff regarding a end-of-the-year employee event. Thank you to the 155 people that have filled it out so far. If you have not filled it out, please fill that out. We would really like your feedback when we start to have the discussions on Monday to decide and figure out if we will do some sort of end-of-year event in addition or in conjunction with the employee appreciation event that we typically do. So please fill out that survey. We really want to hear your feedback on that topic. And my next one is more on behalf of Kevin. We are looking at adding a page to the website on FOIA requests, just to be as transparent as possible. So any FOIA requests that have come into the college from January 1st of this year will now be published on the website. I believe it's who's requesting it and what information they're requesting, and I believe probably the date it was filled. So,
Are we going to do hours about how much time is going to go into that too?
and about how many hours it has taken to fulfill those FOIA requests. So it will start with requests from January 1st of this year. So any questions on the employee survey or that FOIA page? I think the goal to have the FOIA page up is by the end of this month. And same thing with the end of the year appreciation. We're hoping to have that kind of nailed down next week, actually, on what we're going to do there. So, Ben.
I'm sure you probably will talk about this as you're developing more, but would this end of year event be held during like that, in between Christmas and New Year's type of thing, or well before December?
Well, that was one of the questions that was asked, or I said to put that in the comments, but historically, and what we were thinking, it would be the end of the academic year. So we'd be looking at May. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just 2 follow-up thoughts. I did talk to Matt Reed about the FOIAs going on the website, and he asked about to get the I think it's called, okay, you IT people, SRS feed or whatever, where they get the automatic alert. RSS. Thank you. Okay, RSS. So that, I told you letters aren't my thing. So that people can be automatically notified, and he really liked that idea, so that everyone can be in the loop when information is being requested or being processed. This is just a recommendation actually Bob Pritchard had made when I was talking to him about FOIA and how much time we were spending on these requests. And he said, let's make it transparent. Let's let the taxpayers know how much time we're spending on this stuff. And let's talk about who's requesting it so that you can publicly see who's requesting this information from us. So I think it's really good, again, going back to the transparency like Katie talked about. The event, the appreciation event, we have some money in the budget to do this. So when we asked about, would you be willing to pay, part of it is because if we're going to do like a dinner or something bigger, we got to be careful because we are stewards of the taxpayer dollar. So while we could subsidize some of that, we wouldn't be able to pay full board for that. So appreciate the responses, and if people are willing to do that, actually it was a faculty member who made this suggestion. I thought it was a really good one. And so I know faculty got a survey as well. Matt Reed had put out a survey to faculty regarding if they would want to do this, and then we decided to just put together the formal survey to send out to the college. So if we can do it, great. Celebrate the end of the year, and if people want to go in a different direction, then we'll figure that out as well. One of the things that Sarah shared with me last Friday when she and I had a conversation about would she be willing to let me rip up her letter of resignation or retirement, and she said no, it's time. So we'll accept it. Fine, but we talked a little bit about how things were going, and I said, give me candid feedback. You're on your way out. What does the new president need to know? One of the things she shared with me that was really a positive was she shared that there are so many great conversations going on in this college, conversations that are expanded and different than ones that she's heard before on this college campus related to enrollments, and how we really work together to collaborate and really try to keep our students here, find new students, offer new products, be good stewards to our constituents. And that to me was so positive and so nice to hear that really everybody is embracing what we need to do together. We will be doing some strategic planning sessions later this spring. I think I've mentioned that before, to get out to communities. We've got your 113 suggestions that you submitted. I sat and counted them before the board meeting yesterday. That's a lot of suggestions on enrollment growth that were submitted, and we're working on prioritizing those, and we'll share those in the near future. It just got to be a bigger project than we anticipated with so many suggestions. We just kind of got to weed through them and say, yes, we can do this, no, we can't do this, yes, we can do it if we have money, no, we can do it now. So we're just trying to figure some of those things out, and then we will share it with you. But it's really great to see that we as a college have a direction, and we're moving forward together, and we're breaking down the silos, and people are talking with each other. And I am just I continue to be amazed and impressed with what this college does and how you've all rallied behind all of the tough things we've done in the last 3 months. I just celebrated my 3-month anniversary. I have to tell you, I feel like I've been here for at least 6. It feels like I've lived in Illinois for a long time, but it's only been 3 months, and truly, truly amazing things have happened. So you're all to be commended, and really thank you for all you do every day. I am honored to serve as your president, so thank you. Let's end on positive notes. Who's got some good stories to share? Or if you have questions. One? Rhonda.
I was at the,
Hold on, I'm gonna bring this over so I don't have to repeat it.
I actually talk pretty darn loud.
Well, you gotta get caught on this, but even loud can't be on there.
All right. I was at the CT division meeting yesterday, and a positive thing is about the new app, the Aleutian app. There were some students, I guess, that had tried to register online, and they went right to the app, and they were in like Flint. So that's a new good thing that is happening that worked. So.
Excellent, yay. Anyone else? The Burnmeister. Don't look for Bernie tomorrow. You're not going to see him. He's going AWOL. Oh. Don't get that on tape.
Our welding department created bicycle bike racks last semester. And we got them all built, and then the collision repair people painted them. Well, we have the 3 of them installed, and the big plus is the city of DeKalb wants to buy number 4 and install it down in the city. So if you know anybody else wants to buy a bicycle bike rack, we'll make one for them.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good getting our name out in the community. And I did see one this morning when I was coming in.
I just want to give kudos to whoever decided to post little, I guess, pictures of text conversations on the inside back doors of the bathrooms. I now know when the last day for payment is because I had to use the bathroom.
See, I miss those fun things. Very cool. Is that in the men's and the women's?
I only went women's.
Men, have any of you seen them in the men's? Okay, it's in both. Anyone else? Any positive things? Doesn't have to be work related. If you got something cool personal, share that too. We're a big family, right? I keep hearing that. All right. You got something to share? They're always working. HLC. Oh. You guys have fun at that this weekend. Is that this weekend? Yes. Oh. All right. Betty. Betty has something.
Radiography completed their accreditation, and even though we won't find out for another month, they just did a fabulous job. We have a great radiography program. They cited nothing on the curriculum. They thought the curriculum was great, the staff was great, and what safety, they said they did not cite us on anything for safety, which is important with x-rays. And they commented when they went out to all the clinical sites, what a great reputation that we have out in the community. Mark and I sat in on the exit and we were so proud, weren't we, Mark? Yep.
Thank you. You also had a great event on campus this week for health, continuing ed. Lots of people collaborated on that. It was a really fun event. I enjoyed my time, got a great tour of the sim lab, and now realize that we have a birthing dummy. So we came up with an idea for a new certificate just from that. Great, we're going to look at a doula program since we have, I know, isn't that cool? Yeah, I know. See, so just getting out, and if you have some good things going on, sometimes I continue to hear that people don't see me very often. I have never turned down an invitation to a meeting or an event or anything like that on campus, that something's going on with staff. So if you feel like you're not seeing me, find something cool to do. Come and have me come and do a tour. I'm not gonna paint cars. I was offered that, but I was all dressed up that day, so I didn't paint the cars. But please, I want to be out there. It's just, it's hard. There's so much going on all the time, but I will make it a priority if I know you want me to be there and you've got something going on. So. Again, thank you for all you do. Thanks for allowing me to do the great work that I'm able to do because of all of you. And enjoy the rest of the week and happy hump day.